Okay, boys. Now today we come to the concluding part of our first unit, carbohydrate. The session has been very well going on, and I'm just going to sum up because I'm not sure how the video lectures have helped you or how there have been shortcomings in that. So I'm just taking some text to explain what is expected in the examination and how you are going to remember the things in the previous videos there. So let me start sharing the screen there, and here it is. At first, you need to remember the classification. Classification of carbohydrates. This is the basic question that they ask, classification of carbohydrates, and that is to be done as monosaccharides, disaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. Okay, out of these two, we can just write these three, 1, 2, and 3 itself, because anything more than 2 we consider as a polysaccharides. Okay, so this is the first thing that we are going to see in the question part of the classification part. And then the next part that is often asked in the examination is whether the carbohydrates, the carbohydrates are represented as reducing sugar or non-reducing. Non-reducing sugar. Okay. What does it mean? Reducing or non-reducing sugar means, main point is C double bond O H free group should be there. Group should be there. Okay. So what does it say? Reducing sugar means it reduces. Its oxygen is available for oxidation. It reduces this. So one of the best example is Schiff base is reduced. Tolerance reagent. Tolerance reagent is ammoniacal silver nitrate solution. Ammoniacal AgNO3 solution in basic medium. Okay. So from this you get Ag. Ag2 plus will be there. It will be converted into Ag0. So this is the important test, silver mirror test. You often read in your practical examinations this year. Second point is whether the sugar is reducible sugar or non-reducing sugar. So how you can find out is if there are free CHO group, then it is a reducing sugar. What happens, what happens for non-reducing sugars? For non-reducing sugars, the C double bond O is linked with some other carbohydrate by means of a glycosidic linkage. அதனால அது reduce ஆகாது. Okay, that is the second point in the entire thing. And then the third point that is very important is the nature of carbohydrate. In this, you will have to say whether aldehyde is present or ketone is present. Okay. For this, you will call aldose. For this, you will call ketose. Okay, whether the one best example I am going to give is this is hexose is a glucose. This is ketose is a fructose. In fructose, you have keto group. In glucose, you have aldehyde. This is the important point. Okay. Then for the fourth part, the number of C atoms. So you can have triose, 3 carbon atoms, tetrose, 4 carbon atoms, pentose, 5 carbon atoms, hexose, 6 carbon atoms, heptose, 7 carbon atoms. Okay, so you can name glucose as aldohexose, and you can name fructose as ketosis. This is the fourth point. From our previous fourth lecture, we have come this far. Okay. Then the fifth point is very essential point is the Haworth structure. This is very often asked question. I'll tell you what is the Haworth structure. Before writing Haworth structure, you have to write the open chain structure. That comes like C, 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 C. Carbon atom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are bonded together. Okay. This is a open chain structure of glucose. Open chain structure of the glucose. Then we should remember that you have to write OH here, H here, OH, OH, CS2, OH. They are very important. D plus glucose structure la மூணாவது கார்பன் ஆட்டம்ல ஹைட்ராக்சில் குரூப் லெஃப்ட் சைடுல இருக்கும். இங்க long chain without any interaction if you write it. So this is to be written in terms of the Haworth structure as this. Okay. So here I am telling you that this particular part will be removed here, and we will just include, because it is not a Haworth structure, is for non-open chain. That is cyclic structure. Okay. So the numbering will be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this particular will be CS2OH. This will be the 6th carbon atom. This is the same as this. Okay. So in the cyclic structure, we try to shade it like this portion. Why? Because we suggest this shows they are in plane. So this is the Haworth structure, and any OH that is available here will be linked to further chains by means of the glycosidic linkage. Glycosidic linkage, okay, that is the fifth point. And then in the sixth point, we have seen the sixth point is about stereoisomers. We have called it as the epimers. We are also calling it as the anomers. And this is the result of mutarotation. Okay, mutarotation means, you know, we have to see for the mutarotation, we have to see the what is that? Hemiacetal structure. இது வந்து நிறைய முறை கேக்குறாங்க hemiacetal structure. How you have to remember it is you write carbon atom. Okay, you write one OH, you write one OR, and then you write H, and then you write R. R may be any group, any alkyl group. H is H, OH is OH, OR is any substituent. Okay. Further, like for example, if you go for OCH2, CH2, CH2OH, CH2OH, like that, it will go on. So if you have this type of structure, there is a possibility that you call this as a different type of hydrogen in different type of carbon. You represent it by means of asterisk, in which OH is on the right side. And then you have another OH, C, represented by means of asterisk there. And here you will have OH on the left side. The left side and the right side are called as the anomers. They are also called as epimers. Epimers is a process of epimerization. Epimerization is rotation. So epimerization is rotation, and during the process after you rotate, you get these isomers. That's what you call it as the epimers, and it is also called as the anomers. So we will try to look into what stereoisomers, mass stereoisomers, and any other isomers, the number of isomers by asymmetric carbon atom, the plane polarized light, and all those things in our next unit when we deal with the stereochemistry. But here you have to remember the hemiacetal structure, this entire thing, and try to say that the beta plus and beta minus rotation right and left of the glucose is because of this isomer. Okay. Then the seventh point, which we have discussed in very important nature, is what is called as the relative configuration. Why do we call glucose as D-glucose? Why do we call glucose as D-glucose? Then your answer should be relative configuration. Relative configuration. What is the relative configuration? We have seen that we have taken glyceraldehyde as an example, COH, H, and CH2OH. Taking glyceraldehyde as an example, CHO, CHOH. This is glyceraldehyde. Okay, because OH is on the right, we call it as the D-glyceraldehyde. Okay, this is the first carbon atom, second carbon atom, third carbon atom. Or this is the bottom, this is the center, this is the top carbon atom. So from the bottom, if you have the next carbon atom in which OH is R, like for example, CHO, CHOH, 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 CH2. The bottom, இது ஆட்டம் ரபோ இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா ரைட்ல இருக்கு. சோ இது பேர் வந்து D glucose. Okay. This structure, in the particular part, this particular part, if you have as OH, CH, CS2OH, then OH is on the left side, then it is D minus L, sorry, L glucose. Okay. So what happens is comparing with glyceraldehyde, you are naming the structure. But what has happened is, in most of the cases, I'm telling you the point that the plane polarized light should be rotated to the right in the case of D glucose, should be rotated to the left in the case of L glucose. But what happens is, in most of the time, it fails. So we have to go over to absolute configuration. I will tell you what absolute configuration is in my later class. So this is the 7th point, and in the 8th important point, we have seen conversions. Conversions. How do we have seen conversions? The first type conversion is aldose to ketose, and vice versa. The second type conversion is pentose to hexose, and hexose to pentose to hexose, and vice versa. This is in fact arabinose. This is glucose. This is having 6 carbon atom. This is having 5 carbon atom. Okay, you can move from, this is an important structure. You can move from, these two are also very important. 5 carbon to 6 carbon, 6 carbon to 5 carbon. 5C to 6C, we call it as the Killian synthesis. Okay, 6C to 5C, we are calling it as a rough degradation. These two are very important point. Okay, so you can go back to the rough degradation, find out what they're doing there, how we convert this, most important part. Okay. Then the 9th point which is seen is reaction characteristics. In the reaction characteristics, we have seen, we have established 6 carbon atoms. Okay, 5 OH atoms, hydrogen iodide P reduction, pentastyle derivative, one C double bond group, shift test, or you can just take as a reducing capacity. Okay, these are all certain reaction characteristics we have to see, and then we have to see reduction, and oxidation. In the reduction, we have just seen this. In the oxidation part, we often get CSO getting converted into COH, carboxylic acid, and we have seen hydrolysis also in this type of reactions. Okay, hydrolysis. In the 10th part of that, in the 10th part, we have seen the physical properties. The most physical property is plane polarized light rotatability. That is, in the first part, the D-glucose rotates to about 0.119 degree, and this rotates to about 52 degree minus. Okay, so the plane polarized light, what is plane polarized? I will just tell you later. So when you heat these two, This is D and this is L. When you hit these two, they come to about an average of about 20 degrees C. Here the right polarized light, here the left polarized light. Dextro and levo is right and left rotation. So one isomer rotates the plane polarized light to the right by about 119 degrees, and another isomer rotates the plane polarized light to by about 52 degrees. You join these two isomers, heat them in a solution, they undergo isomerization, and then they become meso isomer or DL isomer. DL isomer is a mixture. It's just a mixture. Meso isomer is optically inactive because one part will be rotating in right direction, the other part will be rotating in the left direction. So in the end, you will get the average schema. Okay, this is the two more points. I'll just tell you and then wind up because these are all the important things you'll see. In the 11th part we'll see was probably disaccharides. In the disaccharides, you have seen sucrose, maltose, and lactose. These are very, very essential. Sucrose, glucose, and sucrose, maltose, and lactose. Okay, the combination of these things are very important. In the maltose, you have 2 glucose units. In the maltose, you have 2 glucose units. And in the lactose, you have glucose plus galactose. Okay. And in sucrose, you have glucose plus fructose. Okay. So all these three are very important. All the three are very important. You have to write this structure, linkage. You have to write the structure, linkage, and type of linkage. Linkage na idenna 1-2 linkage, 1-5 linkage, 2-4 linkage, intra and inter. Okay, this is also very important. In this type of linkage, you have beta glycosidic linkage. So I have explained how beta glycosidic linkage is there by means of this hexagonal structure. You have got O there, another O there. This beta glycosidic linkage is this one. Okay. While we have this FA type there are also a alpha glycosidic linkage in which O goes like this. Here you will have that ring. Okay, N type linkage and FA type linkage is there. So this beta type of linkage you have to mention, and you have to write all the hydrolysis. You have seen tetraacetic acid forming. You have seen 2 types of acid formation. You have seen reducible capacity of that. So hydrolysis gives these 2 things that you have to mention. First part, glucose, fructose. Okay, glucose plus glucose, glucose plus glucose. All these are given when you hydrolyze it. So after hydrolysis, individual structure establishment of glucose and fructose, you can do it as you have seen in the first 2 lectures. Okay. So in the last part, we have seen the polysaccharides. The polysaccharides, the most common question that is asked is starch. Okay, 3,6H5O, C6H5O5, 6 N times. O11, sorry, O11 N times. These are all the carbohydrates polymer. These are all the carbohydrate polymer. And you have to write the structure of the stars. These are all the repeating glucose units. And you have seen 20% amylase and 80% amylopectin. These are all glucose isomers that differ in linkage. Okay, so you can write the entire structure. Again, go back to this thing. We finish the entire carbohydrate system. In the next class onwards, we will start with the stereochemistry. So if you have anything, you can ask me now.